Hi guys, and welcome back to a new episode of Let's Talk Elvis. So in today's video, we're going to be doing my annual Elvis Week recap, memories, reflections video. I've done these for the past, I think there's 2 of these now. So ever since 2021, I've done one of these like post Elvis Week recap videos, and I asked on Instagram if you guys had anything that you were curious about, wondering about, as far as like my experiences past Elvis Week, or just questions like if you're trying to go to Elvis Week. And so I always try to answer those in these kind of videos, and I've gotten a ton of them. So literally, I kid you not, the first question that I opened, or like the first little like comment that I got, was someone talking about post Elvis Week depression. And I think that that's so valid. Those are the vibes. That's the vibes when you get back from Elvis Week every single year. And there's truly like nothing like it. If you're not an Elvis fan, you don't go to Elvis Week, I guess like it wouldn't really make sense to you, or it's like, okay, you're being dramatic. But like coming back from Elvis Week and going back to normal life is truly one of the most depressing things that I have to deal with, and that a lot of you guys have to deal with too. And I'm so glad we're going through it together, because if I didn't have you guys, I don't know, if I didn't have the community of like Elvis people online, I do not know how I would be able to make it a year at a time, you know? Like, it's so crazy that Elvis Week just happens once a year. Like, it sucks. And just being in Memphis for those couple of days, like the amount of happiness it brings everybody, and then you have to go back and just like wait for like 365 more days until you can do it again and see all your friends. It truly does suck. So I hear you. Elvis Week depression, post Elvis Week depression is very real, and I'm definitely still going through it. It's like August 30th or something today when I'm filming this, and it's still very fresh. So I feel you. Someone asked what my favorite event was that we got to do during Elvis Week. So for those of you guys who don't know, I usually work Elvis Week at the John Daly's Summer Festival. And this year we didn't work. We were just tourists. We were normal people. We got to do basically everything that we wanted to do events wise, because we were very free with our time. So we took a lot of tours, did a lot of events, and it was really awesome. And I was happy to just be a tourist for this year. But I think like when someone asked me what my favorite event was, my mind immediately goes to the 68 show. They did like a 68 screening show, and it was incredible. I had kind of like low expectations for it, because I was like, I can watch a 68 show at my own house. Like, I don't know why I would pay money to go see it, but seeing Elvis on the big screen is always a plus, and the 68 is my favorite show, so I kind of really wanted to go. But like I said, low expectations. I was like, it's probably just gonna be like, you know, us watching it and having fun and jamming out, and it'll be great. But it was actually so lit. Like, they had the suits that he was singing in, like on the screen, they had that suit out and like next to, like on the stage out, so you could see the suit like while he was singing in the suit on the screen. Very, very cool. I thought that was awesome. They had this like giant like choir come out and sing for like the gospel section all the way up until the end of If I Can Dream. And when I tell you guys, I was bawling. Like, that was so beautiful. And I didn't record it because I was like just sitting there trying to like be in the moment and like enjoy the show. But I kind of regret not recording it. I know some other people have, and if I can find a video, like, I'm definitely gonna screen record it, because it was beautiful, like so moving. The choir was like incredible, and just hearing that like with Elvis in the back, like it was awesome. I really loved that. And there's interviews actually that happened like during the show. They would pause and bring out like people, like I think the writer was there, one of the guitar players was there, different people involved in the 68 special came out to speak, which was really cool. Did not expect that, but it was really awesome to hear what they had to say. And those I did record just because I thought that was really awesome, to hear all those people come out and talk about what it was like to work on the show. But yeah, just seeing my favorite show on the big screen was always like a plus for me, and that event was like awesome. Definitely. I think some of my other favorite events, I don't know if you would really call these events, but Lisa's memorial, that was the first time that they obviously had done something for Lisa during Elvis week, the first Elvis week without her here, and I thought that that was really special. It was really beautiful. They did something really special at the end and played like an unheard duet with her and Elvis that they had recorded and never used. That was bawling, girl. I was crying. It was so beautiful though. And I was really happy to see them do something for her to commemorate her and also her dad's life during that week. So that was awesome. That was a really great event, and I hope they bring that back. And the Vigil always. I know this is not going to be the first time we talk about the Vigil in this video, but I love the Vigil. Is like my favorite time of Elvis week and always my favorite thing to partake in, the most special to me. And the Vigil this year was just as beautiful as all the other years that I've gone, so definitely the Vigil as well. Someone asked, how did it feel putting the gift on the grave? So for those of you who don't know, the Elvis Week Magic, or the Elvis Magic, not Elvis Week Magic, girl, Elvis Magic book that I made during the summer, I placed on his grave on the 18th, I think. So my last day at Graceland, I put it there, and it was beautiful. It was such a special moment, and definitely very, very touching to be able to leave something that so many of you guys contributed to help me make and do. It wouldn't have been possible without all of you guys. Like, I remember making it, and I literally had to like do like double pages on some of them because there were so many of you guys who submitted something to put in the book, and I didn't have enough room, so I was like putting one person on the front of the page and flipping it over and putting someone on the back of the page, doing double pages for it. And I think we had a little over 90 people included in the book, which was all I could fit in. I don't think I had to turn down anyone, but if anyone else like would have submitted something, I don't know if I would have been able to fit it in, but it was a magical moment. It was awesome to be able to leave that for him. And I thank you guys, everyone who contributed. Thank you so much for being able to help me make that a special gift to give to him and just say thank you. Someone asked, where did you feel his presence most? Always in the house, I think, like in the house, outside the house, like in the garden, just like the grounds of the house, like by the fence, like the pasture kind of area where he would ride horses. I just always stand there and like take it in. You know, there's so much at Graceland where you just like, you see him, you read all these stories and you remember all of these like things that are told to you by different people who spent time with him there, and you just kind of like see it happening before your eyes when you're visiting the house. So definitely there. And also just like through everybody. Like, I think feeling Elvis in his presence at Elvis Week, I think happened so much through the crowds and through the people that you witness and through the love that you witness being demonstrated during Elvis Week. I just think it's him living is apparent through everybody who comes to Elvis Week and celebrates his life. And that is like the most precious thing to see. Okay, so there's some like logistical Elvis Week questions that I got. Someone asked, what events should we go to? There's something for everyone, truly. Like, there is a lot of ETA events, and if that's your thing, then you're in the right place, because the ETA events have been picking up over the years. I've definitely realized and noticed. So they do a lot of those if you're into like tribute artists. But this year they did like screenings. They did the 68 screening and the Aloha screening. They did Conversations on Elvis, which was again another event that I really enjoyed. You can hear people who knew him talk about him and their relationship with him. I think that those are awesome. We did the stable tours this year, which I haven't done since I was like 9 or something crazy. I was really young when I did it last. But that's really cool to be able to see that part of Graceland that you don't really get to go visit during your tour. But yeah, I would always check that schedule of events like that they post, because that'll tell you like all the EPE events. But then also like, don't be afraid to like we toured the Memphian Theater this year, and that was like one of the coolest tours that I've ever been on. Everything was like like almost everything was original to how it was in terms of like building structure and like furnishings and things like that. They had his seat there. They had memorabilia that you can't even tell. Maybe that right there is my Memphian ticket that I bought at the Memphian Theater. So that was really cool. But little things like that, things that aren't EPE events but just as cool, definitely check those out too, because there's a lot of history like in and around the Memphis area too, that should not be slept on, and kind of is. So yeah. Someone asked what the average cost is to go to Elvis Week. It's not cheap, girl. And I'm fully acknowledging that like I am very, very privileged to even like live in the United States, right? Like I feel like if you're trying to come to Graceland for Elvis Week from overseas, like my heart goes out to you, because I can't even imagine like how much, just for the plane ticket to get over here, I'm sure it would be so much. But like events, I think I paid like around $100 per event for my tickets that I got. A tour, like the cheapest tour option, I think is like $80. Then you gotta like figure in like other like museums that you want to go to, tours you want to go to around that aren't EPE related, and then also like food and like souvenirs if you want to buy that, plane tickets, gas money if you drive. It's not the cheapest, but it's definitely doable. I'm telling you, like this is like so random, but I dog sit, right? That's like how I earn my extra cash. And I have good business in the summer because everybody goes on vacation and everybody needs me to come watch their dogs. And so I just save all my money that I make all summer dog sitting, and that gets me to Elvis Week. That is my Elvis Week cash. So yeah, it's doable. I don't buy anything else. Like literally every single penny that I make goes to Elvis Week, birthday week, Elvis Week, birthday week, Elvis Week. Like I just keep saving all year round to get to Memphis because that is my number one priority. It's not an option. I have to be there for those 2 times of the year. So it's definitely doable. And you don't have to do everything either. Like that's a huge thing. This past Elvis Week, I did much more than I don't think I've ever done at any Elvis Week in terms of like events and like purchasing. Like I did the Jerry Chef event and those tickets were not cheap. And like, you know, like I did a lot of things, wanted to make a lot of memories this year, more so than like buying souvenirs. I wanted to do things that like I would have the memory from, you know what I mean? But you don't have to do everything, and that's so important too. Like please don't feel like you have to do every event that there is, because you don't. Like pick a couple that are important to you or that you think sound fun, and I'm sure that, you know, you can make it special for you, like in terms of what you like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that made any sense. Hopefully it did, but I'm just saying like it's definitely doable to save up the money to go. Just like, you know, have your priorities in check. And don't feel like you have to buy every single ticket at Elvis Week, because you definitely don't. You can make it special for yourself and not go to any events. I've been to Elvis Weeks where I didn't go to any EPE events at all except for the Vigil and Tour the House, and it was perfect. Like I loved it. So there's definitely ways that you can go and not break the bank. Someone asked, they were curious what Lee Majors' connection to Elvis was, and I'm glad you did, because listening to Lee Majors speak at the Conversations event was like probably one of my favorite parts of the whole event. He was just like no filter, he just like told it how it was. He brought out his little binder, and so he was like, I'm gonna, like, this is a Q&A, but girl, you're not gonna ask me any questions. I'm just gonna read what I want to say, and that's how it's gonna be. And I thought that was like really funny. He was a funny guy. He was really, really quick and smart and funny. And apparently he met Elvis on the set of Clambake, and was in Clambake for like a second or like 2 seconds, really, really short amount of time, but he was like an extra in the back of the scene. But apparently Elvis really liked Big Valley, which is a show that Lee Majors did, like a Western type show, and wanted to meet him. So they met, and Lee Majors has a TCB necklace. Like he hung out with Elvis and the Mafia a ton in the 60s. I didn't know all this stuff. Like I didn't know they were that close. But he had some really cool stories. So yeah, they met on the set of Clam Bake and became pretty good friends after that. So that was their story. Someone asked if I'm gonna post a haul of things that I got this Elvis week, and I would love to do that. That video will probably come after this one. I got a few things this Elvis week. A lot of cool memorabilia, definitely. So if you guys want to see that, then I'll definitely post that video for you. Someone asked, first time Elvis week planning. Events and packages. They were asking about, like, I guess we already kind of talked about this, but there's like individual tickets you can buy, or there's packages you can buy for Elvis week. So I guess just like kind of whatever fits within your budget or whatever seems like most cost effective to you. I know a lot of people have bought in like the gold package or whatever, because it comes with a lot of like the tickets that they would buy anyways. So definitely have a look and see like what events you want to go to, or if you want to buy a package. Definitely find good places to stay that, if you're flying and you don't have a car, maybe offer shuttle services like the Holiday Inn on the Boulevard, or the guest house. But the guest house is so expensive, so like I understand if that's not everybody's first go-to option. Definitely is not mine. But there are some good places in the area. Even outside of Memphis, you can find some good places. And if you can rent a car or something, that would be 10 out of 10 option, because there's definitely stuff to do outside of EPE. Being careful, of course, and going during the day. But yeah, I would rent a car if you can, just so that you can like have more free range of what you get to do when you're there. I suggest keeping a diary. I told this to somebody before, I forget who it was. Someone was like, you know, first time Elvis week tips, like what should I do to make sure that this is like the best Elvis week ever? And all I could think of was like, keep a diary. Write down everything that happens day by day so you can remember it. Because at the end of the day, girl, like you can come home with all this stuff and have seen all these shows and everything like that, but if you don't remember it, then it's like, what's the point? Elvis week is such a special time for us, and for a lot of us, including me, I get to Memphis maybe 2 times a year tops. So just being able to have those memories to keep tucked away in my heart so I can tell my kids and my grandkids when I get older is very important to me. So that would be one of my biggest tips, is keep a diary, keep a journal. So you can remember everything that happened, you know, who you met, what they said to you, what the events made you feel, what the vigil was like, you know, all these things. I would definitely want to write that down. Someone asked if I heard Linda Thompson or Jerry Schilling speak, and I did. They both spoke, I think, at Conversations. I don't know if Jerry was at Conversations, actually. It might have just been Linda, but Jerry spoke at Lisa's memorial, and he was there. Linda also spoke at Lisa's memorial, so I heard them both speak together there. But yeah, they had some really good stories, and it was really nice hearing both of them speak, because I've never heard, I don't think I've ever seen both of them in person. So it was cool to be able to hear what they had to say. One of my good friends, Dee, asked her annual question, what were your absorbing moments? And she's always telling me, you know, to absorb things and to be in the moment and to really enjoy the present moment of where you are. I feel like at Elvis week too, it can be so easy to be like, we only have 3 days left, we only have, you know, 4 days, whatever, and not like enjoy where you are and what you're doing that day, and like the blessing it is to even be there in the first place. So yeah, absorbing moments, I would have to say this year, I wrote down a few. Donna Lewis. I don't know how to effectively express how much I love that woman. She makes my heart smile. She just gives me the warm and fuzzies every single time I'm with her. And I'd do anything for Donna. Like, I love her so much. If for those of you who don't know who Donna is, I talk about her all the time, but she's a friend of Elvis's, and her dad, George Lewis, worked on Circle G and worked at Graceland, maintenance and keeping things up like as far as landscaping and like things in the yard, and everything like that. And Donna is his daughter. Donna knew Elvis and like was really good friends with him. And the way that she talks about him, you guys, like I've never met another person in the Elvis world who has outwardly shown so much love, respect. It just like pours out of everything that she says about him. And like, you can tell it's so genuine, and she would never say anything, do anything to hurt him ever. Like, I just connect with her so deeply, I think. And this past Elvis week, we were able to just sit down with her one-on-one, and me and my friends, and just like talk with her a little bit at the table and just like catch up about her life and what's going on. And she was asking us about like what's going on with us, and she signed like some of the pictures that we had for us. And just spending time with her makes me so happy. I love her so much. And she's like one of the most, if not the most treasured person that I found in the Elvis world who knew him and spent time with him. So I love Donna, and she definitely makes the top of my list of things I'll always remember. And, you know, I just write down everything she says to me because I love her so much. I never want to forget the things that she's told me. A huge moment that I had at Elvis Week this year, I got to give a speech. I got to stand up and talk about Elvis and how he's impacted my life as a young person, and why I think he's important for the next generation, at an event called Elvis the Next Generation, which I talk about this event all the time. It's one of my favorites, and the purpose behind it is so powerful and moving and special, about how we are the next generation of fans, and it is in our hands now to, like I said in my speech, carry the torch, keep the flame burning of a very special person and a very special story. And just like seeing all of these performers show their love and their passion for Elvis during that event was so moving. And like, you know, it's great to see other young people who care so much about Elvis and his legacy, and how they truly mean it when they say that, you know, he's always alive as long as we're here. And so I got to stand up during that speech. During that event, I was asked to come up and give a speech about my personal experience as a young person who loves Elvis. And it was the most amazing honor that I have ever had in the Elvis world up until now. I'll never forget that. Just being able to talk about what Elvis means to me and profess my love for him, and how I promise that, you know, as long as I'm here, he will also be here. And I got to say that in his hometown in front of a crowd of people who also loved him, at an event that was celebrating his life through young people. It was amazing. And it was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just the most incredible honor that I ever had in my life. And I'm very, very thankful to have been asked to have been a part of that. Yeah, I'll never forget that for sure. Last absorbing moment, I would just have to say the Vigil. Again, I have to rant about the Vigil, but every year the Vigil's perfect. And the very beginning of the event, like of the service, I don't know what you would call it, of the Vigil, when we all light our candles and everybody holds them up, and they ask for like a moment of silence or whatever, and all these candles are up and lit, and like you can't even see over people's heads. Like the crowd just goes for longer than you can even tell how big the crowd is, and all you just see is light. And there's the silence of people like remembering Elvis, actively remembering him together right outside his house. Like the Vigil is the most like beautiful, intense moment of Elvis Week for me every year. And it's definitely just, I'll never forget those Vigil moments, you know, like I can separate them each in my head by year still and remember them so clearly because they just mean so much to me. So I definitely feel like those moments, I'm in the moment, and I'm just soaking it up and realizing how amazing and lovely it is to be able to adore this man so much in such good company. Someone asked, is the guest house worth the money? For a lot of people, listen, yeah, because if you don't have a car, you got a shuttle. You don't have to pay for parking if you're doing like a lot of the events and stuff because you got the shuttle. That's a plus, honestly. For Elvis Week though, they jack up their prices a lot. So it's definitely cheaper to stay there during the off season. But for some people, it is worth it. So, and also we spent a lot of time at the guest house over the years, especially this year, because we just like to sit in the lobby and hang out. And like, it's definitely like a social ground for people just to come and like meet each other, say hi, be like, oh, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you since last year, kind of thing. And then we met like cool people at the guest house. Like I met Jay Osmond there just like randomly. He was really nice. You just never know who you're gonna meet. So the guest house is definitely, even if you don't stay there, worth it to go sit in the lobby and just chill and like, you know, be on the lookout for some cool EP people. Someone asked the best time to go to Graceland, whether it be birthday, Elvis Week, Christmas, or the off season. Listen, I'm not the person to ask because there's something so perfect about going during each of those times. I've gone during all of those times. I've gone for his birthday, I've gone for Elvis Week, I've gone during Christmas time, and I've gone during the off season, and I can't pick. Like there's no right answer to that. It's beautiful to go during Elvis Week because it's the time where we get to go celebrate his life, and how much he means to us. And obviously we've got the Vigil and like all those things that like commemorate him so strongly during Elvis Week. But all those times there's something like beautiful to be found. And I've loved going through each season that something's going on or not. So I'm not the one. I would tell you to go at each time and figure it out for yourself, see which one you like the most. Or if you're like me, you'll like them all equally and the same. So, okay, I'm gonna end on this question, which is a very like cementing question. I feel like someone asked, what was the best part of Elvis Week? And you can't pick just one, right? Like Elvis Week is Elvis Week. That's how you describe it. It's just a week of like pure bliss and pure love. I mean, dedication. It's so beautiful to see every single year how many people come and celebrate him and love him like that. And I just keep saying beautiful thing, but it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. The best parts of it for me though are definitely seeing my friends, being able to get together with these people that I don't see like more than twice a year. I just can't wrap my head around that. Like I miss these guys so much, and it's so nice to be able to be with your best friends. It's really hard when your closest friends live in other states or in other countries. It's really, really hard. But for 1 week out of the year, we can all get together and be together, and it's like nothing ever happened. It's like we never even spent time away from each other. We just pick up where we left off and everything is great. And I love being with my friends during that week. But then like overall, I just think celebrating him is the best part of Elvis Week. Just, you know, he's everywhere and he's living in all these hearts, and there's so much love for him being shown. And it's an incredible, beautiful thing to witness and be a part of. Yeah, that's all I can really say about that. I love being there. There's nothing like going to Elvis Week or being a part of that week. And I'm so extremely grateful that I got to go again this year and make all these new memories and learn all these new lessons. I mean, Elvis, I posted this on Instagram, but you know, he continues to teach me every day of what it means to like really love somebody and really care about somebody and really remember somebody, but also just life lessons, like things that I can grow from and learn from and take with me as I grow older. And I can't wait for the day where I'm just like a grandma and I'm sitting down and telling all my kids about these weeks that I spend in Memphis with my friends, just learning and growing and loving and making all these memories together. And it sounds cheesy, but it's so true. And for those of you guys who have experienced it, I'm sure you can agree with me, but for those of you guys who have never gone to Elvis Week, I know you'll get there one day. I know you will, and I can't wait for you to get there. and to be able to experience this all for yourself, because it is truly magic. It's a magical week and a magical time, and there's nothing like it in the world. All right, you guys, that concludes this episode, the Elvis Week 23 recap. I can't believe it's over already. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad about it still, but counting down the days till next year, definitely counting down the days till January. Let me know if any of you guys are planning on being there for his birthday in 2024. 89, girl, that's crazy. But yeah, thank you all so much for sticking around for this long episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. All right, bye-bye. Mm-hmm.